podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, we give a rest in peace to a hip-hop legend. We also talk about the New York Jets offseason. And as always, we dab into a listener question and talk about this week in sports history. All that and more. On to the show. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This is episode 216. Y'all come on in. Close the door behind you. Wipe your feet. This is your host, J.R. Glenf. Joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glenf, Thomas Stevens. What's good with you, Al? Are you owling, sir?
My button's a little sensitive. I pressed it twice and I guess it just went right back to mute. But it's good to be here. Good to be back. Just good energy, and it's springtime, so just one of my favorite parts of the year. So I'm doing good. Good to be here with y'all.
No doubt. Pooh, what's good?
Man, what's good, gentlemen? Ready to shake, rattle, and roll, man. What's good?
Ain't nothing, man. Good to be with y'all again. Al, you mentioned springtime. Is that your favorite season?
Actually, no. You would think so because I'm a May dude, born in May. You might think that, right. But actually, I'm more of a fall guy. I like the harvest of fall, just conceptually. I like the tailgating of the weather. It's not. It's usually kind of cool, but not. You also get a little heat in there. But the main thing I like about it is one, the kickoff of football also. But it's that time of the year where all of the major sports collide. So for the sports junkie in me, I get that rare that window of a season where I can just enjoy them all. So I'm more of a fall cat.
Okay. Pooh, what's your favorite season?
Oh man, the winter.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you get the dress.
You're a
fashionista.
Right. I'm a winter guy, man. I don't do really summer and spring because of the bees. I hate bees. So that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a fall guy too, for all the reasons Al just named. And I'm an early riser, so I love fall mornings where I get my mornings to myself and go outside and start my day. And it's like crisp, but I'm not too cold. Man, I love fall. And everything else you said too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect tailgating weather.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You
You don't kill yourself over the grill because it's too hot.
Nope.
And fall just screams family to me for some reason. So.
Yeah. You got homecomings, football homecomings. Like spring, the weather is right, but you don't really have the events to go with the tailgating.
Yeah.
And so the fall, you got all of the college football, high school football, professional football to go with the cooking on the grill and the red cups.
Right. And in spring, you got pollen. That just totally fucks it up for me.
Oh, forgot about that. Yeah.
It could be three NFL football seasons going on, and if pollen is there, I don't want no parts of it.
Done with the pollen.
Right. But anyway, shout out to our sponsor, Bud Bottles. Y'all go check out budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs, the home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Shout out to Bud Bottles. Also, shout out to our patrons over at patreon.com. Y'all check them out. It's all kind of free content on there, recipes and premium content. We should be bringing back the 10 spot soon, so y'all definitely check out Patreon at www.patreon.com/GoDefyLife. And you can listen to us at defylifepods.com, as well as your favorite podcast platform for free $99. Check us out. You can listen to you can read our written content over at the original GoDefyLife.com. Check out all of our written content right now. It is draft time, so check out Halil and all his draft coverage on the draft site. And you can check out our branded apparel at DefyLifeGear.com. T-shirts, leggings, joggers, hoodies, all kind of stuff, man. Go check us out. Al, did I cover everything?
My brother, like any of our tailgate events, it was worth every second of it.
No doubt.
Shout out to Big Wayne. We at, baby.
No doubt. Yeah, shout out to Big Wayne and Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty.
No doubt, man. So speaking
Big
of which,
Daddy.
The new family in my dad's house had their first get together. And,
nice.
They were, of course, their family does too. But they were. They had pictures on Instagram, and it was weird, man. Keisha was in town, and she went and checked them out, and it was just weird, man. Looking at the pictures, and they doing everything we used to do, but it wasn't us. It was just like
right.
Parallel universe, like imposter.
Exactly.
Who are these people?
Exactly.
So it was kind of bittersweet, but it was dope to see, kids in the swing and people hanging out around the back of the garage, around the grill, and it was dope, man, to see that tradition carried on.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Before we get too much into the meat of the show, man, I want to give a shout out and rest in peace, man. Fly high to DJ K Slay, a hip hop legend. If you grew up in hip hop around our era or earlier or shit, even lately, man, K Slay is a household name. He was in the heart of the mixtape era. And, whenever K Slay dropped a new mixtape, you knew it was going to be fire. So, shout out to K Slay, man. RIP had a long battle with COVID and passed away over the weekend. So, shout out to K Slay. Al, what's your take on K Slay's legacy in hip hop?
His legacy, without a doubt, in terms of, I think most people will definitely remember him with the mixtapes and being on the radio and just introducing some dope MCs to the culture, and so I think people will definitely miss him because very few cats with his notoriety are still repping the culture in the way that I really appreciate, and understanding the importance of lyrics and MCs, and putting them in the spotlight. Not just somebody who can sell a record, but somebody who got some pen game and can spit on the mic. Is something that you just don't see every day. So hopefully people will fill that void and continue to provide that to those of us who do appreciate it. But I was just totally shocked. Just the idea that, just the COVID, the reminder that it's still out here and that people still dying from it. It definitely hit me from that level. And, just also want to shout out a project that he did kind of recently, 110 MCs. Mm-hmm. And like that track, although it's about as long as an album, like 45-minute long song, it is just awesome to hear 100 plus cats spit hot 16s. And so check it out, and shout out to K Slay, rest in peace, and he'll be missed.
Yeah, no doubt. Pooh, what's your take on K Slay's legacy?
Man, I echo all of that, Al. Al just relented to us, and he's definitely a mistake god, man. Rest in peace, K Slay. I'm not gonna go on and on, but he was definitely one of the pioneers, man.
Absolutely. So it goes without being said, man. Shout out and prayers to his family, his fans, and his It's the guys who are going to follow in his footsteps. So, and everybody that got a chance to work with him, truly a legend, going to be missed.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Speaking of legends, in their particular area, in their realm, the New York Jets.
Hey.
I don't know what they're legendary at, but it fit the segue. The New York Jets, man, have first off, we're going to talk about their off season, but in your 1 year watching him, do you think in the young quarterback and what's his name? His name now escapes me.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Do you think they finally found their guy? We've seen the Geno Smiths and the Vinny Testaverdes and the who else? Ryan Fitzpatrick,
Sam
Darnold, man, yeah. Do you think they finally found the guy?
I think it's rare that after a first season can you definitively say this guy's going to be a franchise quarterback. I do think, he has shown what you want to see from that quarterback in his first year, which is progress. And not only just progress, but then that occasional moment or two where you're like, okay, if you could do that more consistently, you the guy. And so I definitely have seen that. And so I'm optimistic that we are heading in the right direction. And so I think the true test is going to be, as he develops, can the Jets build something around so that it's matching his development, and kind of like Josh Allen in that way, or other quarterbacks in that way, where his development is matching the development of the team around him.
Okay. And who would you say are guys that will be in that category with him is guys to build around as they try to improve that roster?
So like who's on their franchise right now? Like who would I keep?
Yeah.
So I really like Elijah Moore as a wide receiver. I think when you look at the Jets draft last year, they did really well. So Elijah Moore is somebody that, as from a wide receiver and standpoint, I definitely think they hit on. I think they got him in the second round. Michael Carter, the running back, is also somebody that I'm high on. I think, don't know if he's going to be a 3-down back per se, but definitely somebody that when you are building a roster, he's somebody that I want to keep around. From the year before that, the Mekhi Becton, I really like his potential, but he's been in and out injury wise, so it's kind of hard to really gauge if he's that guy. Another guy coming out of that draft, this last draft, was Vera Tucker. I think he's a keeper. So from a draft perspective, they have shown an ability to hit. Over the last 2 years, of course, I like Quentin Williams out of Alabama. On the defensive side, I think he's somebody to keep. And then even we got a couple of cornerbacks in Bryce Hall that I think we and Michael Carter too, the other Michael Carter, right, that I think
they kind of cornered the market on Michael Carter.
Michael Carter's right. That I think those are guys that I'd like to build a roster around. And I want to keep Corey Davis. I like what I saw from him in his first year as a free agent. I think we building, but they have a lot of holes. So there's a lot of in the last 2 drafts, there's been a lot of opportunities for people to play, but still we coming into this draft with a lot of draft capital and still a lot of holes to fill in.
Absolutely. So on to you, Pooh. I know, in the past you've done us the segment. I know you all remember the segment called Fix My Franchise. What would be those holes that you would fill with the Jets?
Jay, I'm glad that you asked. All right, so of course, reading the article and doing some research, run stuffing defensive tackle, is a hole. Edge rusher, outside linebacker, wide receiver, and cornerback. All right, those are the holes I see. They definitely had a glaring hole in the interior of the offensive line. They went out and signed Lake and Tomlinson to a 3-year deal, $42 million. So they feel like that sold up, their interior. They also had a holes at tight end. So what they do? They went out and signed two, Azuma and Conklin, both of them to almost identical deals. 3-year, $24 million deal to Conklin, and no, I'm sorry, to Azuma, and a 3-year, $21 million deal to Conklin.
Mm-hmm.
So they're playing both of those guys starter money. So you can definitely say that they're going to play both of those guys a lot. So that glaring need that I thought that they needed at receiver is obvious that they're going to use both of those receivers. I mean, both of those tight ends during the same time. So they can lean on maybe the receivers that they have and just insert one of those guys in more of the time. But we'll definitely see how they're going to go. And with cornerback, they went out to Seattle and signed DJ Reed. Heck of a tackler. He was on the field in that down package over 70% of the time. And they really think that he can translate to a really, really good starter. So they signed him to starter money. 3 years, $33 million. It was a good market deal for him. But like I said, they think his upside is tremendous. So I guess we'll go on to defensive tackle, edge rusher. Jay, what do you think that they can go in the draft or free agency out there for those guys to acquire at D tackle and edge rusher?
Well, and also I just want to mention the guy that I really like. Two, their safeties. They just signed Jordan Whitehead.
They signed Jordan Whitehead.
But also like the young safety Ashton Davis. That kind of is playing free safety. So I like their safety lineup right now. As far as like free agents that are available, it's going to be the second round of free agency they're going to have to hit, which usually comes around, after a lot of veterans get cut after the draft.
Right.
So looking at edge rushers, and it's tough, man, because edge rushers go off the board so quickly.
They do.
They do. But you look at a veteran guy like a Jason Pierre-Paul, possibly.
Okay.
He's still out there and available. Jerry Hughes is still available. So those are two names you might want to look at. Mario Addison. At this point, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get veteran guys who may have a little left in the tank.
Right.
Especially after the draft, if you feel like you didn't get the guy or one of the guys you were really interested in at the top of the draft, maybe you want to bring in a veteran to kind of shore up some holes. When you look at D tackle, Eddie Goldman's still out there. Available
Eddie.
D tackle. Akeem Hicks is still out there available. You look at interior guys like that. So again, a lot of veterans. Ndamukong Suh is still available. So Limbo Joseph is still out there. So a lot of veteran guys who can, and again, D tackles you're looking to plug the run. So you might not be looking for 60 snaps a game. Maybe a guy can come in and just play first and second down for you.
First and second down, exactly. Because they feel like they have their pass rush and defensive tackle with Quentin Williams, right?
Yeah.
He's definitely that guy.
Yeah.
I like him. And so they sit and when it comes to the draft, they got the number 4 pick.
Okay.
And so you got Jacksonville ahead of them.
Right.
Detroit's ahead of them.
Right.
I think Houston is the 3rd pick.
Yes.
And so, it's when it comes to edge rusher, I think it would be awesome if somebody could slip. But then, talking about Aiden and the cat from Georgia going early.
Walker.
Right. So the question is Thibodeau out of Oregon? I'm hearing mixed things. So I'm curious, Jay, to hear your thoughts on if Thibodeau is he that guy? Is he worth the number 4 pick?
Short answer, absolutely. More in depth, I don't see a big of. I'll give you my answer and then the reason why I think it is. Right. So I don't think there's that big of a gap between Hutchinson, Thibodeau, and Walker. First of all, and even a guy like David Ajabo before he got hurt in his pro day, the other defensive end from Michigan. I think they were all right there together, talent-wise. They all have their pluses and minuses, but I don't think there's it's huge of a gap. I think why is because Thibodeau's the guy who started at the top. He's the guy who came into the season as the top overall prospect. He was the number one recruit in the country when he came out. Oh, and we see this every year, and we talk about it all the time, is when you start off at the top, what happens? They find reasons to make you fall.
You can only go down.
Right, you can only go down. As opposed to a guy like Hutchinson, who was not that high of a recruit. He didn't come into the season expecting to be a top 5 pick. So what do we do all season? Oh, man, I like the underdog. I like the guy who came out right. He's the son of a former NFL player. He's a hard-working guy. He's, we give him all those, we build him up. And we'll find some way to tear him down, probably his rookie year in the league. But if we're going to build somebody, so that's what I think has happened to Thibodeau. They kind of, we're nitpicking his game. He's a hell of a player. So if the Jets can get him at 4, if pass rush is what you absolutely need, I don't think you're making a mistake by getting Thibodeau at 4. But, there's 2 ways teams look at the draft. You can either, fill a weakness, or you can fortify a strength. And I think if those, like if Evan Neal or Ike Ekwonu are there, the offensive tackles, either one of those fall, you put one of those guys on the offensive line along with Becton, and you start to build one of the better offensive lines in the league. So what do? Do you fill in that weakness at edge rusher or D tackle, or do you fortify a strength and keep building that offensive line to protect your young quarterback? So they're going to have options. So it's going to be interesting.
And I think they have the 10th pick as well. So to me, to what I would go with whoever I have rated higher on the board in terms of who do I think is, to your point, while they do have another tackle, I mean, he's like 29, 30 years old. So if you can, and Becton has not been on the field much the last 2 years. There's just other issues. So if we've talked about those tackles in the past, and both of y'all have spoke highly of each of them, but definitely the brother from North Carolina State.
Right.
Y'all spoke really highly of them.
Yeah. And, even if they're both off the board at that 10th pick, if you look at a guy like Charles Cross from Mississippi State, who's been compared a lot to Tyron Smith, can you slide him in at left tackle and move Becton to the right? Of course, we don't really, we hate the player comparisons and the prospect comparisons to 10-time All-Pros. But, whenever you get those kind of comparisons, then I can see it. That's not, he's no consolation prize by any means if you can get a guy like Charles Cross at 10.
Right. I read a few articles on the Jets, and they mentioned they'll be ecstatic if he's there at 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then that's the good thing is, when you think you got your young quarterback, and you have 2 top 10 picks, you can go a long way in filling in those gaps around them.
Would it just be blasphemy if they go 2 tackles though? That would just be that'll just be out of pocket. But they'll be really formidable for the next 10 years at tackle if they pan out to be what they're supposed to be. Like if they go tackle at 4 and 10.
So what do you do? Move back to the guard? Or you can play Ekwonu at guard. He could be. Some people think he's a better guard.
Right. Okay.
Either way, man. Yeah, but they guys who can play multiple positions.
Right. They're in a great spot. I think they to acquire talent. I think they're in a good spot. Great spot.
I was gonna say they definitely also need a huge dose of playmaking. So I can appreciate the fortifying offensive line, but we haven't had a pass rusher since Mark Gastineau.
John Abraham for a couple years.
Oh no, I forgot about John Abraham. No disrespect to John Abraham, because he definitely He was a beast as well. So no disrespect to John.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I go pass rusher tackle. I go pass rusher tackle. Definitely. That's what me myself personally. Jay, where would you go? And we'll get you Al since you're the Jets fans. We'll let you end that one out.
Yeah. I would definitely put pass rusher as a priority.
Okay.
You know, like Al said, whenever you gotta, shit. I mean, it's bad enough you go back to, you know, that you got to go back to Mark Gastineau, and then my correction to you was John Abraham, which is 25 years ago. Like that speaks volumes. So
right.
You know, and so yeah, I think whichever of those top three guys, you know, between Hutchinson, Walker, and Thibodeau are there at 4, and maybe you have a pick or 2 of them. You never know. But
I don't think any of them fall.
Well, I think one of the offensive tackles goes top 3.
Okay.
So I think that pushes one of those pass rushers to 4. But I mean, I ain't mad at you for saying that because it's definitely possible. But if any of those guys, I don't think you can lose if you're the Jets and you're sitting there at 4 because it's
correct.
Your needs fall right in line with what's available at the top of the draft. Correct. So you know, in either way, whether you know, in either order, pass rusher, offensive line, or offensive line, pass rusher, and then you know, then the rest of the draft is left to you to fill in other holes. You can get a D tackle. Like you said, you need a run plugger. Run pluggers don't usually go that high in the draft. So you find one later. And then I think another thing just in general they need to address is just speed in general. So be it a receiver, returner, corner, whether in the defensive back, linebacker, they need speed. So just addressing team speed across the rest of the draft, I think they'll be good.
Right. Would you dare, let's say they 3 go, 1, 2, 3. Would you dare fall back 2 spots and know you're still going to get a tremendous offensive tackle, but you're going to acquire another first-round pick? Would you dare do that?
I would.
I would too.
I would too.
Especially if it's like somebody who is crazy enough to trade up for a quarterback, and I could, you know, they paying premium.
Right. You got to play premium when it's up there. You got to play premium.
You know what I'm sitting here thinking, shaking my head like, please don't let it be my Steelers want to trade up to 10 to get a quarterback. I hope not in this draft. But that's possible. Like if you think you're sitting there at 10, let's say Kenny Pickett goes at 6 to the Panthers, or Malik Willis, whichever one of them goes, and teams start getting antsy like, oh man, ain't no way, if I like Pickett, but Willis is my guy. He's still available. Let's get up to 9 ahead of the Jets. So let's get up.
I gotta go up there and get him.
Right, I gotta go. Let's go get him at 10 with the Jets pick. Yeah, I'd be willing to drop back to. If I was the Jets, I'd be like, yeah, I'm willing to drop back to 17 or 19 in order to, or 25. Shit, if I can get another first round pick and another one next year.
Another one, yeah. Those are premium selections for the next 2 years.
And when you think about, for one, it's just a deep draft. It's a deep draft and all. Like you can, if you're looking at you trading back, and you want to trade back, and you're looking at the next available pass rusher, maybe being George Karlaftis out of Purdue, the Greek Freak, the other Greek Freak, or if you're looking at another offensive lineman, you start looking at the kid out of Tulsa, I forgot his name. But, you're not going to get, you're sitting there at 10, you still have so many options. Even if, again, you want to fortify strength, there may be, Andrew Booth who's sitting there at corner. You want to put another corner on the field.
Yeah.
There may be a Devin Lloyd or N'Kobe Dean. You want to add speed at linebacker. Like, it's so many options. And when you're a team like the Jets, like Al said, there are so many holes. You can't go wrong by getting the picks.
And Singly. You got Singly probably still staring at you in the face. Who knows?
Right.
That's tough.
Yeah. So, I ain't mad at them if they do. Al, what would be your prep? What's your dream scenario in this draft?
My dream scenario.
And I don't mean like Mark Gastineau coming out of retirement and playing, and again in his prime. I mean, like, realistically speaking, yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I my dream scenario would be that they get Thibodeau at 4 and he balls out. So that would, I mean, so that's the contingent. I do expect her to be there for, but the Jets are just traditionally unlucky, and so but can he? I'm hoping he's there. They pick him and he balls out because I think upside wise, I think he's the one that has the potential to really be like elite, and I think Hutchinson's gonna be solid. I think out of the top 3, Trayvon Walker is the one I'm the least expecting to be great.
Okay.
And just because we'll get to that when we get to the prospect part. But, so that'd be my dream scenario would be him. And then honestly, this is kind of crazy. My dream scenario would be they trade back, select Jameis, the Jameson Williams, and he turns out to be that guy. And I mean, he was definitely on, showing to be that guy when he was playing and then got hurt. So I'm hoping, surgery turns out fine. He's all good, and he has a great career. And so I think before the injury, he was my favorite wide receiver in college football last year. So
yeah, talk about team speed.
You think he's going first round?
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah,
definitely.
Okay.
I would be shocked if he's there. Let's see. I'm gonna give him 20. I don't think he'll go past
20. Yeah.
Okay. Did the other kid come out?
John Mechie.
What's his? Mechie.
Yeah, Mechie too. Yeah, Mechie's he came out and of course suffered ACL as well, but he's more of a second, early third guy.
Yeah, I saw us peg to take him. I honestly like him better. To me, I like him better.
It depends on what you like.
That's true.
Mechie's just a guy. He's not a speed demon like Williams. So I mean, if you want a guy who can take over a game or score from anywhere on the field, yeah, Williams is your guy. Mechie's a guy who's probably going to play in the slot because he doesn't have the explosive like skill set to win on the outside one-on-one, so he's not going to get a lot of separation. But you put him in the slot where he has a lot of two-way goals. And he's tough with the ball in the air, and he's better as a yak guy.
I think he just knows like his awareness.
Yeah, he's a football player.
I just think he just knows the game, knows how to play.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I like them both though. So Pooh, we talk about those 3 guys at the top of the draft who, depending on the game, or we just talked about those 2 receivers from Alabama, depending what you like kind of determines who you think is better a lot of times. Just like in life, where you stand on something kind of determines where you sit.
Right.
So if you give me 3 prospects in this draft that you absolutely love, they don't even have to be the top of their position, but you just love them for some reason. And then give me 3. Well, next we'll go 3 that you loathe. But give me the 3 that you absolutely love first.
I actually did love Thibodeau. I think he's Khalil Mack. I really do. I think he's an absolute but he did get banged up a lot last year, and I don't know if that's just because it was it's just one of those freak things where he just kept getting injured. I really love him. I love Stingley Jr. from LSU, and I got to be honest, man. I really love, and I'm hanging around at the top of the draft, but I really love Hutchinson. I like his motor, man. He just puts me in the mind of J.J. Watt's motor. Like when I just remember seeing him in college, like you really just thought he was really, really good, but you just realized like this dude don't stop. Like this dude motor is ridiculous. So I would go with those 3 guys.
All right. You think he's got J.J. Watt talent?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't say that.
Nah.
No, he just doesn't. For one, he doesn't have JJ Watt's like strength,
Right.
and
Shit, who
and
does?
and I don't think he has his tactical like with his hands to. He can get off blocks, but it was like JJ Watt just I don't know shedded them like pistachios. He don't. I don't think he has that yet, or maybe he can get that, but no, I don't think he has JJ Watt's skill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you
I'm
don't.
just comparing him to the motor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, chances are you never have that skill. You don't just get that. But I get you on the motor
Right.
part. Yeah.
Right. Well, and then if I want to compare him to a motor guy like that, I probably would go back and say Jared Allen because he was a motor, really, really,
Yeah.
like
I
relentless.
get it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Al, who are the 3 prospects you love in this draft?
Absolutely. My favorite player in the draft is Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia. Love that cat. Every game I watched with UGA, he seemed like he was one of the best players, like always making plays. Love that cat. The wide receiver, Jameson Williams, he definitely be high on my list. Like the way he performed in big games, and definitely love his speed and separation. And then Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame, is somebody that I liked a lot too. I was shocked to see his like 40 time, and I know 40 time ain't everything, but he just seemed to play a lot faster in the games. Like he was always around the ball and making plays.
Right.
And so definitely think he's going to be. I know safety aren't valued like they used to be, but I think he's going to be a long-time pro and a playmaker.
Okay. All right. So there's a follow-up question for you as well. Kyle Hamilton. We talked about this last week? Me and Pooh. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on this. Do you think he's one of those prospects who's, as a safety prospect, when we think about top 7 picks, like people are projecting him to be, do you think he's in that class, like a Sean Taylor or Troy Polamalu? You think he's that kind of safety prospect?
So I think why he won't be picked that high is because of his combine, his speed. Yeah, I think people are going to look at that and nitpick and not pick him in that range. I do think though, when you 2 years, 3 years from now redraft this draft class, that he would fall into the top 7 players in the draft. And he's smart, got the instincts, and just and when you mentioned Troy, I think Troy might have been a better athlete, but what I would see a similarity in Troy is the instincts and the ability to be around the ball. And I think, from a safety perspective, like that's something that I value and why I love Troy, even though, he was a Steeler, is that every time you look up, that cat was by the ball and making the plays. And so I really have a bias towards playmaking safeties.
Okay, cool. I'm going to give y'all really quick. I'm going to stay out of the first round. I'm going to give y'all 3 of my favorite prospects. First is Danny Gray, receiver from SMU. If you haven't seen, just watch his highlight tape. I ain't ask you to watch a film breakdown on him, but just watch. If I think if any player in this draft has an opportunity to have a Mike Wallace type impact, we just gonna ask you to run for your first year in the league. Don't even learn the damn playbook. Just go run fly routes 3 times a game, and we're gonna get a big play. Like, watch that dude. So Danny Gray will run first. Nick Cross, safety from Maryland, would be another guy that I really like. Extreme athlete, pretty physical. Just needs to, probably looking at like a 3rd round kind of range. But once he cleans up his mechanics, he's going to be a good one. And lastly, I would say Martin Emerson, cornerback from Mississippi State. Dude he's as impressive as you'll see for a guy who did not have any interceptions the whole season. Like, a ton of pass breakups. It's just the team shot away from him, first of all. But he just, there's a reason he plays corner and not receiver. But looking for a guy who's always around the ball, really physical, doesn't shy away from putting his face in the fan on tackles. Martin Emerson is a guy that I really like. Pooh, give me 3 guys you loathe that you want the Bears to stay away from in this draft.
Well, we're not gonna have an opportunity to enter these guys anyway. But be honest, and this guy just reminds me of, oh my God, what's the kid's name? We drafted out of Georgia. Now he's coming on now. Is 6 years in the league. The outside linebacker with the Rams. Oh my
Floyd.
Leonard Floyd. Not Leonard Floyd. Yeah,
No.
Leonard. Is it Leonard?
Yeah, Leonard Floyd.
That's Leonard Floyd. So he just reminds me of him, right? And it's Trayvon Walker. He just reminds me of Leonard Floyd. Like, he has all the intangibles, and in college he just, like, he seems dominant everywhere he goes, but like, I just don't know if he's gonna look like Leonard his first 5 seasons in the league. But like I said, he's turned into a really, really heck of a player. But I had to nitpick at someone, and it turned out to be him. And the other guy is Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame. Not just saying I low, but I had to nitpick at someone. I didn't think he's gonna be overdrafted. Okay. I think he's gonna be drafted and above his means, and Booth Jr. And that's my Clemson guy. Right. I had to nitpick at someone, and I done seen probably more tape of him than anyone else in the draft, just because I don't miss the Tiger game. But he was there, like, he was with guys, but he was with guys like college coverage, not like NFL coverage. In NFL, though, those guys would beat, like, if he would have played against those guys, the LSU team from a few years ago, and I guess that's not safe, but you would have just saw the disparity between the two. Like, when we had Terrell, and he was, say he was one of the top 2 corners, and he got drafted top 10, and like last year he didn't even give up a touchdown pass. Right. But you saw him in the national championship game, and he couldn't cover a paper bag, because those guys, were, I guess, top tier NFL guys. But I guess I said all that to say that I just don't know if Booth Jr. is good as advertised.
Okay. Y'all might get a shot at it. Your stock is falling.
It's falling.
Hernia surgery. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I like him, but like I say, I had to nitpick at someone. Right. Someone that's projected to be drafted high. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Al, what say you? Who are guys you hoping your Cowboys or your Jets stay away from? You just loathe them as prospects.
I would definitely put Walker on the list. I just don't see it. I mean, I think Floyd is an interesting comp, and so be curious if he has a okay career, but just not the elite pass rusher that I think people are projecting him to be because of his physical skill set. So he's one. The other one I would add is wide receiver out of USC, like Drake London.
I hate that dude. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I think people are going to be disappointed when he comes to the league. And gifted in some ways, but yeah, I don't really see it. And then
Southern Cal.
Yeah,
you said
USC. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go check him out. I'm not familiar with London.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. And then My third guy would be it's kind of crazy, but I don't think, and I mean, again, this is nitpicking, and maybe just I don't hate this guy, but in the sense of I don't know if he's gonna be as good as people think. Is Aiden Hutchinson,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I we'll see what team he goes to and the system, but I think he definitely, to your point, Jay, benefited as the off season, and he got bumped up, and a lot of people started pushing him as some people fell. But I also wonder how much of the other edge rusher, Ojabo, and also they had some really good D tackles as well.
Mm-hmm. The whole defense was nasty.
Right. We'll see, but I just don't see him carrying a team type of a number one, number two draft pick.
All right.
He might be solid, but are you going to give him that second contract? I don't know.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's drafting 2-3 overall is too high for drafting motor. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when you think about, I guess, like, I'm getting the echo. If you look back at prospects like the Bosa brothers, at this point, would you take them number 2, 3 overall? I mean, I don't think they're good. When you look at Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa,
I mean, comparing them to other pass rushers, I mean, I think they, top 5. That's out there, top 5.
I mean, when you look at the both of, I think between the two of them, they have 2 combined double-digit sack seasons. So, when I'm taking somebody in the top 5, I want you to be. The plan is for you to be all pro, like
perennial all pro. Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to look back at you, and the best thing I can say is that boy had a hell of a motor. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not a bad trait, but I don't want to lead with that.
I mean, especially at that high,
right?
I mean, I think, and this is about value, in terms of.
So let me ask this. So, would you look at what the Bosa brothers do, okay, and you look at where Jadeveon Clowney, like you put his, thing in his spinning up shell, yeah. So who do you think more, like career more, I guess, emphasize that top 1-2 pick, the Bosa brothers or what Clowney's done?
Again, I think it kind of depends on what you like, because Clowney's kind of the opposite, right? Because Clowney's
a disruptor.
Well, as a prospect, Clowney was the one thing we questioned was his motor, right? The one thing we questioned was him taking plays off and the play in and play out basis. But what we did know, he was the best athlete on the field.
His measurables was generational.
Right, we knew. Yeah. But there were concerns about and I remember. Explain some of these to Keon, like it's flexibility, hip flexibility, ankle flexibility, stuff like that. Well, he can't turn the corner, and which is why he'll never be an elite sack guy. But he's, like you said, he's a disruptor. He's excellent in the run game. He gets in the backfield. So his physical skills kind of led with why he was the number 1 overall pick, why he's a top 5 pick. And I just think at the end of the day, if you got to defend this pick after somebody just fired you 10 years from now because you picked a bust in the first round. If I would have picked Jadeveon Clowney and somebody said, man, that dude was a bust, whether you agree with it or not. If somebody said he was a bust as the number 1 overall pick, I could look back and say, man, but shit, everybody would have drafted this dude number 1 overall. He was, he's the best athlete in the draft at 6'5", 270. Like, I had no choice. I had to draft him number 1 overall. as opposed to like, man, you got fired 10 years ago because you drafted Aiden Hutchinson, number 1. And I say, yeah, but he had a good motor. Like, I just think like whether you pick someone, and when you pick somebody in the top 5, you got to be able to defend that pick. And I just think if you look back, Aiden Hutchinson, I think he'll be a good player. That's definitely not saying he's going to be a bust, but I think he's going to be a good player. But when you look at a guy like Thibodeau, I just think his ceiling is so much higher. And when I'm drafting for the next 10 years. I'm not just drafting for next year. I'm drafting for the next 10, 12 years and what I think you can become. That's just my philosophy. I get it if some people draft for what you are now. So I'm more of a ceiling guy than a floor guy when I'm drafting that high. So that's why I like Thibodeau so much better, because I think if I'm drafting number 1 overall, I want to be able to look back at the guy who could possibly led me to a Super Bowl, not the guy who, man, he may not have J.J. Watt's talent, but he damn sure got his motor. I just can't lean on the motor like that, man. I can't.
He got one heck of a motor.
Right. I love the motor, but you ain't gonna be my lead dog. I don't want Aiden Hutchinson being the first dude off the bus with him and carrying his motor. I want Jadeveon Clowney being the first one off the bus carrying them dogs. Like, that's what I want. Right. But to each his own. I want to. So quick note on the guy y'all both talked about before I give my guys. The guy y'all both talked about in Trayvon Walker. I think the issue with Walker is, again, I think his ceiling's high because he's just that kind of an athlete, right? Mm-hmm. And he didn't really have a position at Georgia. He kind of played all across the line, dropped in coverage some. But when he flashed, it's definitely enticing, right? But he, as a pass rusher, he's just a guy that don't have a plan. He just pushing people around. He ain't got no hand usage. His feet and his hands don't work together. But when he does put it together on those very few occasions, it looks damn good. Mm. That's another dude I ain't quite sure if I want to draft first, second overall. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna say I loathe him like y'all do. Y'all hate to do. I don't know where y'all slapped.
Nah, man, we had to.
You use the word no, but that's okay. Yeah, that's all right. Like you're gonna have that brother see me in the street,
right?
You have?
Right?
You hate me, man? You hate me?
Man, go fight you like Dale Davis.
Hello. Where you at, Dale? I'm looking for you, baby. I'm looking for you.
But I like the athlete, Trayvon Walker. But I get what y'all saying. There's just a lot of apprehension about taking a dude that high who's that raw and hasn't mastered his position at a collegiate level yet. Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned Drake Johnson. I totally second that. Anytime a dude won't run the 4 as a receiver, as any dude on a position that prides itself on speed and numbers, especially receiver, dude, those dudes don't like. Name one receiver who don't like people to gawk at their numbers, right? Mm-hmm. Whenever you find a dude who's a receiver come out in the draft and say, "I'm not running the 40," teams can look at the film. That's some shit linemen say.
Watch out.
And not even offensive linemen say that. Offensive linemen, like offensive guards, come out and be like, "Man, I'm a football player. I don't run no 40." And you be like, "Damn right." You're like, "Yeah, he's a guard." You don't expect no receiver to say that. Drake Johnson came out this week and said, "I'm not running the 40." Teams could look at the film if they want to see. That dude big and slow. That's what you know from that statement. I mean, and from watching the film, I already know he's big and slow. But now you just solidify, you big and slow. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, I would rather a guy come out and show it, right? Put all the chips on the table, and especially if you're a receiver, like, it'd be one thing if you rocket Ismail, and I can see the film, and you just blowing by everybody. But if the one thing I see on film that kind of disturbs me is you can't get separation, every big catch you make is contested, I might want to see you run a 40, dog. Right. So, yeah, I'm with you on Drake Johnson. I just don't buy it. But yeah, but really quick, my guys that I loathe, and I hope the Steelers stay away from. One, Sam Howell. you in North Carolina quarterback. I think this is the reincarnate of Baker Mayfield, just as a player, not a person. Secondly, Trevor Penning, offensive tackle out of Northern Iowa. Not a big fan. He's one of them dudes that like push people around after the whistle and try to look like a tough guy. I don't like that. Like, remember, what's the tackle y'all drafted last year, Pooh, in the first round?
Williams. I can't remember his first name.
Light skin dude.
Yeah. Tevin Williams.
Tevin something. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. Yeah. But remember when we were just amazed at how he drove
into the sideline.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. Like, do it during the play. Trevor Penning do that shit after the play, and then like stand over you, act like a tough guy. And the play was kind of, his play between the whistles was kind of marginal. And I don't really like that dude. And Tevin Jenkins. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the singer in it.
Right.
That's Tevin Campbell. Tripping.
Can we talk for a minute?
Right.
And then lastly, the guy that I loathe in this draft would be Drake Johnson, of course. I'm just, again, I ain't buying it. Okay. So, yeah.
Drake London.
I mean, Drake London.
London.
Yeah. You hate him so much.
I hate him so much. I hate his haircut. I hate his nephew named Drake Johnson.
Not even calling him Johnson. Not even calling him London.
That's how much I hate you. Man.
That's how much I hate you. Your sister named your nephew after you, and I hate him too.
Stop it.
Wow.
Oh man, well, yeah, man. Well, y'all definitely check us out. Next week we're gonna have our big mock draft show. So the whole crew gonna be here. Pooh, Al. I will be playing the role of Roger Goodell, of course. Lincoln will be here. Money's gonna be here. Terrence is gonna be here. Regular Scott's gonna be, like, everybody's gonna be here. We all gonna be.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a Royal Rumble up in here of draft folks.
Pookie, Ray, all them.
Pookie and Ray gonna be here.
Come on back.
Right. Oh man. Quick listener question, guys. Before Pooh blesses us with some sports history. Quick listener question is from Zane in Chicago. What up, Chi-Town? Zane wants to know, if you're on death row and you're about to go to the chair or the gas chamber, pine oil, they're about to give it to you. What's your last meal? Pooh, you first.
Man, wow. Me first. Give me a salad, man.
Man, go ahead.
You killing me, man.
Killing, literally.
Dang. They like, what? Yeah, I got some cholesterol issues.
Right. Y'all got some balsamic.
Hey, I'm gonna start it with a salad, man.
Some unsweet tea.
Hey, can I have that ranch on the side, please?
And some unsalted French fries, please.
Just vinaigrette,
baked fries. Vinaigrette.
You wild.
Hey, yo.
No croutons.
Hey, yo, wow. Hey, but off top though, seriously, I start every meal with a salad, man. Extra vegetables. Green peppers, red peppers, all that good stuff. But of course, man, I'm gonna finish it up with a steak.
From where? And what cut?
I'm gonna finish it up with a porterhouse.
Okay.
I'm gonna go porterhouse or ribeye. I'm gonna probably go. Man, we ate at this place, and no matter what, like, it was always like Ruth's Chris for me. But we ate at this place at Keita's birthday in Charlotte called Dressler's.
Mm-hmm.
They had some type of steak there with some type of green, like, dressing sauce swirled around the side.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And I want that to take me down the road, yo. I want that. I want that.
Or up the road if you're living right. Right.
You right. Right, I'm tripping.
You
Take
all
me up
the road.
Right. Either way, you got this steak and salad.
Hey, let me seal the deal. I'm gonna seal the deal with like a cheesecake with strawberry topping. With the let me finish the deal with that. Oh man, give me an ice cold Coca-Cola, bro.
Yeah.
Take it.
Okay. All right.
That'll do me.
That's it. Man.
That'll do me.
All right. Al, what you getting for you to take you up or down the road?
So,
boy, it's a salad. Yeah.
Right. I don't need no salad.
Hey,
I mean, no disrespect, but I'll take my bad cholesterol ass into the death row room with some. So I do want some calamari to start it off.
Okay.
This restaurant down here in Atlanta, Two Urban Licks. Bring me that.
Shout out to Two Urban Licks.
Yes, sir. I'll go with a ribeye steak.
Okay.
I think my size. I'm gonna go with some pinto beans and collard greens.
Okay.
All right. And just some mac and cheese. Cause what the hell? Just go with the cholesterol. We don't just throw it all in there. And then for my dessert, I'm gonna take some sweet potato pie.
Okay.
And some pizza. And I know, Zane, you from Chicago, so you don't know much from pizza. You don't know anything about pita because what y'all call pizza is really like souped up ravioli or lasagna. just messing with you, homie. I like Chicago pizza, real talk. I mean, yeah, I do though. But this would be some pizza give me some New York pizza off of Jamaica Avenue, preferably margaritas. Pizza and for drinky drink. I ain't thinking about a drinky drink. I'll go with a Long Island iced tea. Give me a Long Island iced tea.
Okay.
Top shelf though.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
All right.
And take me on up, down, wherever you got to take me. Take me on in. Take me on home.
No doubt.
No doubt.
All right. Yeah, I gotta, man. Y'all done took steak. I'm gonna go a little, not slime. I'm gonna go. I ain't gonna sway too far away, but they gotta let me use the grill so I can make a brisket.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that's the only I gotta be able to call Al. Somebody got to make my brisket the right.
Somebody got to make some brisket.
So like if I can call Al. Or if I can go out there and call Wayne, somebody got to come make my brisket, and I'm taking that.
Right.
With a loaded baked potato, no bacon, and some collard greens. Well, actually mixed greens. You get collard, turnip, all the greens up in there. No salad though, poo. And last, and then for dessert, they gotta get a piece of honey bun cake. Let me get a honey bun cake from dessert.
Okay.
And to wash it all down, let me get a C and double, the strongest IPA that I know. Let me get a C and double, and and to wash it all down, and then that's it, man. Just put a mint on my pillow, and then we can go on up the road. I can dap Pooh up while he going down the road. We can meet on the way.
Hey, no doubt.
Shout out.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Hey, let me add mac and cheese, man, too. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Let me add that lobster mac from Ruth Chris and a loaded baked potato as well, Jay, without bacon and sour cream. Let me get that.
All right. And if they don't let Al show up to cook my brisket, just give me breakfast with chicken sausage and eggs and grits. And shrimp and grits. I'm good. Yeah. They'll just have just any random ass food talking about he cooking my brisket. So yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Pooh, what's up with that sports history, dog?
Man, you won't believe this.
I'm
scouring.
Okay.
I had it, from last week. But hey, anyway, this last week I did a little bit of sports and I did a little bit of just history. All right. So again, like I say, last week it was April 15th. It was April 15th. Titanic sunk. Right. So it was this week in history. So the Titanic sunk. It was.
Damn, the
We
Titanic
also
sunk
had
on tax day. Go ahead.
right, right. Definitely, Titanic sunk on tax day, and we also had Jackie Robinson. He played in the first game, broke the barrier on April 15th. And it was one other thing, Jay, that I really wanted to hint at, and I can't find it in my phone. Jackie Robinson, April 15th. Titanic sunk, April 15th. And bro, I cannot find it in my phone. I'm gonna lose my mind. As soon as we hang up, it's gonna come to me. As soon as we hang up. Gentlemen, I'm sorry. I thought I had it tucked away because it was those three that I wanted to point out. Titanic, Jackie Rob, and what else, y'all? I'm sorry, fellas. I'm sorry.
Dang.
It was one other thing too. Damn it.
That was a good one.
Damn it. Yeah, as soon as we get off, man, I'm a freaking freak. My kids may have heard me curse. Yeah, boy. I'm gonna go ahead and okay. So I think I'm there. Titanic sunk. Jackie Robinson Major League debut. Oh, and the bombing, the Boston Marathon in 2013.
Yeah.
That's yeah. And I totally had forgot about that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Yeah. All of those happened on April 15th.
Okay.
And a myriad of other things, but those are three things that I was like, wow.
Yeah. That's right. All right. Well, just a quick search, because I know you've been holding that and know some big events. So a couple things happened this week also. On this week in 1988, the Philadelphia 76ers retired number 6 before a home game. Won by
Doctor.
We all know the Doc was number 6 for the Sixers. On this week in 1992, Michael Jordan secured his 6th consecutive NBA scoring title with an average of 30.1 points a game.
Mike.
And in 1999, Cal Ripken Jr. was placed on the disabled list for the first time in his 19-year career. Suffering from back pain. Was breaking his streak of consecutive games played in Major League Baseball.
What was his nickname?
Iron Man.
Iron Man, yeah. Iron Man.
Cal Ripken Jr. But yeah, y'all. We enjoying these sports history. So Al, I shared something in a separate in a text to Pooh last week, and I want you to hear this. It was it's Michael Jordan with. I read a stat that blew my mind. Right, and texted to Pooh. Listen to this stat. And by no way am I admitting Michael Jordan's the GOAT with this stat, but this shit is incredible. Right. In Michael Jordan's career, he played against 1,212 total players. 310 of them never beat him in a game once. Right? So that's a quarter of the players he played against. None of them ever even beat him in the regular season or playoffs. None of them. Right? Check this out. Only 74 of them never lost to him. One of them was Scottie Pippen.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And to go even deeper, Sherman Douglas played against Michael 30 times in his career. Never beat Michael. Not once. How you played him 30 times? You never beat him. And it ain't like Sherman Douglas
That's
played on
crazy.
some bum ass teams. Like the Heat was pretty decent.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sherman Douglas. You know, there's a lot of people.
No doubt.
What'd you say? Did we lose Al?
I think he was a casualty, man, going down that road. Man.
Go ahead. He must have got that steak. Him and his collard greens always.
Right. He cooked them joints with that pork. Man.
Right, man.
Should have had it with the smoked turkey, man.
For real. You want that bacon on his potato and shit.
Dang, I got jokes. Yeah, I got jokes.
Joking about laughing at Pooh cholesterol. Look at him.
Yeah.
Damn.
What was you saying, Al? Man, Al fell off again.
Talking shit
Oh,
that he played in the NBA.
Al with that sensitive mute button, man.
yeah, man. What it is. Oh, man.
Must be my perception.
Maybe. Oh, man. So, Al, I asked you the same question I asked Pooh. Out of all the players that Michael played against, who do you think has the best win percentage against Michael Jordan? Minimum of 20 games. Must be Jesus. Oh, man. Well, we'll get Al answer. Right, we'll get Al answer next. Al will text y'all the answer. But that's all we got, man. Y'all definitely check us out. Next week, we're doing the big mock draft show. So, again, everybody's going to be here. And next week, we're releasing a special episode about the impact of to celebrate the anniversary of Outkast release of Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music, and just talk about their impact on hip-hop as a whole. So, definitely check out those two things coming up from us. Pooh, you got anything for me before we go?
Man, nothing, man. Just live your life, people. I had a discussion with a young man today, and he was just telling me that he really didn't like to do things. He really didn't travel. Didn't really think he deserved to travel because he wasn't making a lot of money. And I looked at him square in his eye, and I was like, "Young man, remember one thing. Everyone on earth is sure to die one day, and you don't want that to happen if you hadn't lived.
Damn right. That's the truth.
You got to live, bro.
Man,
you got to live.
Ain't none of us gonna regret the things we didn't buy. But damn
Right.
sure we'll regret the places we didn't go.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Agree.
All right. Get out there and see the world, man.
Yeah.
And enjoy it with people you love.
Right. No doubt. It was like his homeboys go. He never go with them. He always just stay and be like, man, I ain't making no money. I don't really deserve to go out. I was like, nah, man. Your bank account look the same.
Right.
Then I told him about rich dad, poor dad, and the mindset is the only thing that separates the two. The mindset.
Poor is a mentality for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good, man. It's y'all definitely, if that's one thing, y'all take from us. I know we do a lot of laughing and joking and talking sports like some knuckleheads, but for real, man, live your life.
Live your life.
And there are gonna be things you regret, but you
Right.
damn sure don't want those things to be, things you could have done and things you should have done.
Right.
Like the world
Right.
is out there at your fingertips.
No doubt.
Like eating a salad for your last fucking meal. But anyway, we go. And so,
Touche.
no doubt. Love you, brother. We
Love you too, bro. No doubt.
no doubt. Shout out to Al who got dropped off at Roost Chris on his way out the door. We go see y'all next week, same time, same channel. Till then, defy life.
Defy life. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.